I'd like to show you our Wetsone chisel and plane blade sharpener. One of the unique features about this product is it's water cooled, which is the really professional way to sharpen chisels and plane blades. The product itself is a aluminium oxide grinding wheel in this housing, and there are various guides to enable you to sharpen the chisel and the plane blade at the correct angle. And you also get, you can buy replacement grinding wheels. So here is the product, as you can see, hooked up to a power drill. And I'd like to show you the water cooling first. So we switch on the power drill. And you can see that the water is being recirculated from this water bath here by the grinding wheel and coming out of the spout here, covering the front of the wheel with a surface of water so that the grinding operation is cooled, as the name of the product is. And so you don't get any loss of temper of the edge of the steel of the chisel, which is a very, very fine cutting edge. It's easy to damage this edge. The water cooling ensures the temper is retained. So I'm going to first now sharpen a chisel. Before I do that, I'd like to show you the other aspect of this product which is interesting, which is that the angle, sharpening angle of the chisel and the plane blade can be adjusted. I've got it at 40 degrees. I can see in the window here 35, 30 and 25 degrees. As you know, the basic angle of chisel sharpening is 25 degrees, and then we have the ability to put on the final edge of 30 degrees as well. 40 degrees is usually used for rebate chisels. So we've got a full range of angles here that we can employ. So first thing I'm going to do is, this is the chisel and plane blade guide. You can adjust the guide up to the width of your chisel, obviously. I'm putting the guide on here, and the operation, when I've got the power drill on, you won't be able to hear me, that's why I'm describing it now. The operation is this movement side to side is holding the chisel in the right angle. I'm putting the chisel in, I'm letting the chisel drop down to the front of the grinding wheel, and I'm now tightening up the screw so that it's being held correctly. I'm just now checking that the chisel is flat against the guide there and it's being held tightly. And now putting the chisel down like that, and as I mentioned before I turn on the power drill, this is the action. The chisel edge is being held at 25 degrees by the chisel guide against the grinding wheel, and it's running against the face of the grinding wheel. And I've double checked that I've got 25 degrees in my window here, and so I'm now going to be turning on the power drill. And you can see that, the water is covering the water on that surface. It's sharpened it completely there. One of the advantages of the power of the power drill is that it will sharpen a chisel quite quickly that's completely blunt and that needs that whole 25-degree surface reshaped completely. So the power, it's got a lot of torque, the usual domestic power drill. So the power of the drill combined with the water cooling will enable him to sharpen a really blunt chisel very quickly, infinitely quicker than a stone. Now we're going to be putting on the 30 degree final angle, and we're changing the angle here too, so that I've got 30 degrees in my window. I'm putting this back, I'm just checking that the chisel is tight again, and we're going to run this only 2 or 3 times across the front, because that's all it needs, a very fine edge. And you've got your double bevel, 30 degrees and 25 degrees. We're now going to do plain blades, and the plain blade obviously is much wider, so we have to adjust the clamp to take a wider blade. I think this is about a 60 mil. As I mentioned earlier, it takes up to 60 mil wide, which is the usual maximum for plain blades. I'm just widening this out a little more for it to accept it. And so the plain blade slots in like that. I'm obviously feeling that the edge of the plain blade is on the grinding wheel. And now tightening up. Then just double checking that the back of the plain blade is well seated against the clamp, and away we go. And we've got 25 degree, well formed, very sharp edge. We can of course do the strop again to remove any burr.